Next, before and after the control design, it's a bit more complex. If you compare with the previous technique before and after without control designs, so you can still see the test area level of phenomenon before treatment X. And also, after applying the treatment, you can measure level of phenomenon after treatment Y. So, beyond the test area, and you will have another area, we call the control area. You must measure the level of phenomenon without treatment. Let's call it A. Okay, in the time period 1. And in the time period 2, you measure it again, the level of phenomenon without treatment C. And the final formula is the treatment effect is equal to 1 minus X, and then minus C minus A. In the control area, you see, I would like you to underline without treatment, level of phenomenon without treatment. Okay, before and after. Before and after with control design. Okay, please remember, with control design, you will have another condition. You will have a control area. And in this design, two areas are selected and the dependent variable in chart, dV, is measured in both the areas for an identical time period before the treatment. And thereafter, the treatment is introduced into the test area only. And the dependent variable is measured in both for identical time period after the introduction of the treatment. So the effect of the treatment is determined by subtracting the change in the dependent variables in the control area from the change in the dependent variable in the test area. You can have a look in the picture. So this design is superior to the previous design because it avoids extraneous variation resulting both from the passage of time and from non-comparability of the rest and control areas. But at times, due to lack of historical data time or a comparable control area, we should prefer to select one of the first two informal designs. And let's have a look at the same example. Nivea company has changed its packaging of existing products line, and they want to check that if there any effect of new packaging on sales or not. Okay, the same idea, the same thing, the same example. So, but we have other conditions. We divide the 16 supermarkets into equivalent groups of A. Okay, one group X supermarket and another group, another 8 supermarkets. One is a control group to the other experimental group. In the shops, in the control group, do not change the packaging styles. And in the experimental group, make the change. And we measure the sales for both groups before the experiment date and after the experiment date at the same time. So let's have a look. Okay, before measure unit, okay, you can also measure x1 and x2. Remember that you have two x, right? Okay, the first one x1, okay, in the experiment group, okay, and x2 in the control group. Okay, you measure it. Remember that in the control group, do not change the packaging style. In the control group, do not change the packaging style. That is why the number of units sold is less than x1, and um, experiment variable introduce new packaging bottle. Okay, for the experiment group, the condition yes. Okay, you change the packaging style, but in control group, no, you don't change the packaging style. And then after measurements, okay, you can measure y1, okay, 15 something, okay, the same thing as a previous example, and y2 32,000 something, okay, and you put all four variables or four values into the formulas. Effect of experiment variable is equal to y1 minus x1, then minus y2 minus x2. Easy, right? Okay, and the result is 13,730 units. That is the result. Okay, I think you get the idea, and we can make a conclusion. Okay, you came to the conclusion that effects of new packaging on Nivea has positive impact. The same thing as a previous example. So they suggest to marketing manager they can also change the packaging of their remains product line. It will definitely helps them to reach on the company revenue target. Okay, let's come back to have a look at the formula again. So please bear in mind you have two groups, experiment group and control group. Okay, in the experiment group, you measure x1 and then y1. But in the experiment group, you have a condition that you introduce new packaging bottle. But for the control group, okay, you do not change the packaging style. Okay, that is why the sales, okay, is less than the sales measured in the experiment group. Okay, and in the final stage, you can see the effect of the experiment variables. Okay, I think that is all, and it's not much difficult for before and after we control design, and also the previous techniques before and after without control design. Okay, you may choose before and after with control design or without control design. It depends upon um, the research problem, the way you're going to measure things, okay, the conditions that you are going to apply, you are going to use. Okay, thank you.